All right. So today what we're working on is Bohr's atomic models. So we're going to be doing this for some of the elements near the top of the periodic table. And we're going to do a couple of skills today. We're learning how to use Cami a little bit, and then we're also learning how to draw a Bohr's atomic model. So let's take a look at our instructions first. It says draw the Bohr atomic models for each of the atoms using your periodic table. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing with these rings here. To represent the number of protons, write P dash followed by the number of protons placed in the nucleus. So let's start by doing this with hydrogen. So I'm going to come over here to where it says text box. And I'm going to make a text box right here in the middle. And it's going to be P dash. Now, since hydrogen is, looking at the periodic table, number 1, that tells me I have 1 proton. So P dash 1. Neutrons, we're going to assume for this activity that our number of neutrons is the same as the number of protons. So we're looking at an atom of that type, not other isotopes where we have different numbers of neutrons. So we're looking at the one, we're going to assume that the number of protons and neutrons are the same, and electrons as well. N-1. All right, I'm going to move it just a little so it's more centered. Okay, so we've got our number of protons. I skipped ahead a little to represent the number of neutrons, N dash, and then the number of neutrons placed in the nucleus. So this is the center of our atom, so that's the nucleus. And then it says use the periodic table to determine how many electrons are in each orbital. So if you remember from our notes last week, the first row, all elements in the first row are going to have 1 energy level. And the most electrons that that energy level can hold are 2, which matches the number of elements in that row. Okay? So going back to this, hydrogen is number 1 on the periodic table. And we said we need to assume that our numbers of protons and neutrons are the same. We're not dealing with any isotopes at the moment. And that's going to hold true for our electrons too. So these are neutral atoms, meaning that for every 1 proton, there's 1 electron. So in this case of hydrogen, there's 1 proton, so there's 1 electron. So to draw this, I'm going to go over to the drawing here. And I'm going to make the stroke thickness like that. And if you want to pick a color, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just use black because it's easy to see. And I'm going to put 1 dot on the innermost ring. Okay, so that's my electrons. So on step 5, where it says use dots to represent electrons, that's how you do that. Okay, let's see. And then step 6, be sure to write the symbol, atomic number, and atomic mass number for each element. So we're going to go back to our text box. My symbol for hydrogen, if I look at the periodic table, is H, capital H, I should say. My atomic number, we already know that, but we'll go back and check just to be sure, is a 1. And then lastly, for this box, my atomic mass. For atomic mass, we're going to go ahead and use the average that's given on the periodic table. So when I type that, 1.008, and then I can move it a little so that it's on my line. There we go. All right, and that's how you complete one of those boxes on the Bohr's atomic model. Now, there'll be a little more work and a little more electrons as you move through, but I'll have a video posted of how to fill in a few more if you need some more help beyond this. Okay? All right.